Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the AI Masterclass, and this time I named it the Anti-AI AI Masterclass. Now, we've got people here in all different roles and levels of responsibility. Some of you are new faces, and some of you are old. I have taken a look at all the surveys. So in the next 60 minutes, we're going to do a deep dive into how you can leverage AI for business, regardless of your role. You will get the replay, so if you think I go too fast, let it go, okay? So take good notes. I'm going to go ahead and play a quick little introduction for those of you who don't know who I am, and then we'll jump right into it. Here we go.
In a world where business success is constantly redefined, Ford Saeks has helped companies generate over $1 billion in sales worldwide. From startups to Fortune 500s, Ford is widely recognized as a business growth accelerator. With over 20 years of experience, he has authored several books, been awarded 3 U.S. patents, and received numerous industry awards. Tenacity and innovation are what fuels this revenue-generating powerhouse. From grassroots to Google and beyond, Ford provides his clients with fresh perspectives and doable tactics to resolve marketing, operations, and growth challenges. As president of Prime Concepts Group, founder of the Accelerated Growth System, and host of Fortify Live, Ford specializes in helping businesses solve their biggest challenges and unleash the power of AI innovations. He's an avid cyclist, global traveler, and outdoor enthusiast, channeling his drive for exploration and resilience both on trails and in guiding organizations to new heights. We're happy to have him here with us today. So please, give a warm welcome to Ford Saeks.
And the crowd goes wild. All right, so having done this, I leave the chat open. So all I'm asking for everybody is use common sense. Do not cross-solicit or hassle anybody in the chat. If you have questions, you can use the Q&A. I'm going to go a full straight hour of content with some interaction. And then I am going to stick around later to do some deeper dives, maybe even some hot seats. But I promise everybody the 1 hour, so that's the main focus. And then I'll stay around to provide some extra value. So please just don't abuse the chat. Devin's on here. So Devin, if you need anything, just let me know and we'll go from there. All right, so I thought about how do I start this? I've been telling this story about AI and looking at AI, and I've been teaching on AI now for many years, way before ChatGPT. But I always look at this through the lens of business. How is this going to help me expand my influence? How is this going to get me better brand awareness? How is it going to help me get a better following or subscribers? And that's maybe my in-house list, my mailing list, and email list, and followers on social media. How do I generate leads? And what's my customer experience like? And then how do I get new and repeat sales? How do I deliver value? See, I don't think there's any such thing as a money problem. There's no such thing as a money problem. There's only an idea problem. If you want to make more money, leverage ideas. And there's no better way right now than to leverage AI to help you navigate the challenges that every business faces. Whether you're a franchise brand, a franchisee, whether you're a fellow keynote speaker, since I've seen many of you here on the list of participants, or whatever your role is, AI can help you. So I'm going to help demystify it, but keep in mind, this is just an hour, so I'm going to go as deep as I can. Now, I hope that everybody got the video that Devin, my producer, sent out to everybody on AI prompting, because it was interesting when I did the surveys, there were still 70% of you that scored yourself under a 1 through 5 that were where they played with AI, but you don't know what you don't know. So even those people who think maybe you're a 9 or a 10, I just want you to reserve your opinion, just participate, think about what you can use, adapt, don't adopt. And with that, I'm going to play my opening story.
Greetings, humans. Don't worry, I'm not here to steal your job yet. I'm what you'd call an AI agent. Fast learner, relentless worker, and never once taken a coffee break. And while I may be synthetic, I know something very real. You're here because you want to stay ahead of the curve, not get run over by it. The AI revolution isn't coming, it's already here. Tools are changing weekly. Customer expectations are evolving daily. And the people who succeed? They're the ones who learn fast, adapt faster, and use AI not as a threat, but as a strategic advantage. So before we begin, let me give you one critical download. Today's session is not about AI hype. It's about real-world strategy. You're about to discover how to streamline, scale, and grow. From someone trusted by global brands, franchise systems, and business leaders across every industry. Ford Saeks doesn't just talk tech. He's a business growth accelerator, an AI integrator, and your human translator for this fast-moving digital frontier. He'll show you how to eliminate repetitive work, uncover hidden opportunities, and create smarter customer experiences. So shut down your distractions, lean in, and get ready to think differently, because the future of business doesn't belong to machines. It belongs to humans who know how to use them. And now, initiating Ford Saeks download. Take it away, Ford.
Okay, so I guess I can make it say anything I wanted, right? And I should have corrected the pronunciation of my name at the end there. But what I would tell you is the biggest fears that I think people should be aware of, there's many things like this, but is you're not going to know the difference between what's real and what's fake going forward. The avatars are getting better. The audio is getting better. They're teaching AI to stutter and backskip and cough. I mean, it's kind of scary and a little bit creepy, but just know that going into this. But I promised you we would get into the content, so let's go right into it. So we already talked about the focus. Again, this is about how do you get more customers, increase the average transaction, how do you get repeat referral sales, or how do you improve operational efficiencies? And that's really what this is about. Now, if you've seen me speak at a keynote, I always ask this question when I start an AI presentation. How many books have you read? And people say 1,000, 500. And then I say, well, what's your percentage of recall? And they're like 5%. I just want to reiterate, it's not what you know, it's how well you execute. And AI has already watched all the YouTube videos, all the TED Talks. It's read all the books. It's generates its own thinking now. I would say it's sentient. We could argue this point. Do not, some things will make you smarter, but they won't make you any more money. So don't get seduced by technology. Ask yourself, what's the highest and best use of my time? How can I create AI agents like a co-CEO or a CMO or a marketing director or a finance director or a relationship coach? How can I create some tools to help me? And that's what we're really going to be exploring is the tools. So AI won't replace humans, but it will replace humans not using AI. And I think I first said that back in 2022. It's been used a lot, other spin-offs of it, but it just makes the point that, AI is here and it is replacing jobs. So you could argue, but it also is creating jobs. So what's important is the continual learning, which is why I'm glad all of you have joined, or if you're watching this on the video replay, or if you're sharing the replay with your teams. You can never know it all. Anybody who thinks that they're an expert on AI, and there's a lot of experts on AI right now, any professional speaker who can't make it as a leadership speaker or sales speaker, no, they're all AI experts now, right? And so they're all jumping on the AI bandwagon, but they're not wrong. Every business should be looking at AI and how it affects your customer journey. So I don't fault those other speakers at all. I would just ask you to consider the source and make sure that you vet the information you're getting and they're not just giving you a book report, that they've actually used it to leverage things. Because this topic is changing so quickly that you don't know what you don't know, and it's going to change. And again, even this morning when I was preparing this presentation to go live, I'm like, oh, I want to add that, and I want to add that. And I looked at the survey, and you can only add so much, but I guarantee I'm going to give you the framework of which to look through. So this is for all roles and levels of responsibility. It doesn't matter what your role is, this is something to help. Now, normally, most webinars, if you've ever been on a webinar, there's an upsell at the end. There are no upsells at the end. In fact, I'm going to give you the link to the bonuses where you're going to watch the replay. Now, keep in mind, I'm doing this live right now, so if you go to this link right now, this video obviously isn't going to be up there, okay? This is live. But after it's done, I'll encode it and I'll post it. The previous versions I've done are available on YouTube. But on this landing page, so it's profitrichresults.com/AI-thank you. You're going to get the complete video replay of today's session. I'll leave the hot seats in it as long as there's nothing confidential at the end. I may leave it in, but you'll definitely get the full hour. Then there's a downloadable of all my slides. You're going to get a bonus handout, which has a lot of great things in it. 60 ways to use AI, the complete prompting guide, and sample prompts that you can literally copy and paste. And then there's the AI Ready Blueprint. Now, that AI Ready Blueprint is something I've also called your sales and marketing dictionary. Because regardless what AI tool you're using, whether it's ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Copilot, Gemini, Grok, or I could name names for an hour, they all allow you to train it. So an action step is to get that Word document. I made it Word so you can copy and fill it out. And you can even use AI to help you fill it out. So I know Bob Phibbs, the retail doctor, is here. So Bob, thank you for being here. He's a colleague of mine. We're both in the $1 Million Speakers Group together. And Bob is working a lot in retail right now. And they're getting hammered, not only hammered with the economic changes that are going on and the tariffs that are going on, but the disruption of technology, right? And so I was talking to Bob and I'm like, Bob, you should create an AI agent for your business. So what he would do is he would download that document. He could use AI to fill it out. So a lot of you on here, AI already knows your brand and your company. You could upload that Word document and say, I got this Word document from Ford Saeks, an AI specialist. I need you to go research my brand and help me fill it out. Now, what tool would you use to do that? I would recommend that you use Perplexity, Perplexity.ai, to use for current events and research. So if you're new, great, go to Perplexity. I'll show it on the slide here in a minute. But Perplexity has more current information, but we're going to talk about how you actually leverage all the different AI tools. So that's just a quick little introduction to get these tools. I'm not going to wait to the end as a teaser. So now you've got it in the first 10 minutes of the presentation. Let's continue. All right. Great concept. Reminder, AI is multimodal. It's no longer just text and text responses. It can read, it can write, it can see, it can hear, and it can speak. So for example, I was going to grab my cell phone real quickly, I guess is the right language word. And I'm just going to open up ChatGPT. Hey, are you there?
I'm here.
Hey, will you say hi to my attendees of my Anti-AI AI Masterclass?
Of course. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Anti-AI AI Masterclass. It's great to have you all here, and I'm looking forward to an engaging and insightful session with you.
All right, would you tell them that they have the power of doing this with their ChatGPT account?
Absolutely. I'll let them know that they can harness the same power with their own ChatGPT account. Anything else you'd like me to add?
Tell them hello in German.
Klar. Hallo zusammen.
All right, now say it in Japanese.
Sure. Konnichiwa.
All right, now tell everybody how great I am.
Absolutely. Ford is a phenomenal business growth accelerator and a Hall of Fame keynote speaker with an incredible track record.
Okay. Yeah, you get it. All right. So again, if you're feeling bad and you need someone to help pump you up a little bit, maybe you want to turn on AI. But that's just a quick little example. You can all do this yourself right now with ChatGPT. So if you scored yourself between 1 and 5 on the survey, get ChatGPT, download it on your phone, start using it for multimodal because it can see, it can read. You can upload photos, you can upload documents. You can't upload video yet, but I bet that's coming, at least in ChatGPT. And all the different platforms allow you to upload documents. And that's why it's so important that you get that AI-ready blueprint, fill it out for your brand, and use it. Now, we know you're going to have questions. Please put the questions in the Q&A box. If you have comments, you can put them in the chat, and we'll go from there. All right, you can also turn on your microphone on your computer, and you can talk to it like that too. All right, let's move on to the next piece. All right, so this is really interesting. Now, some of you have seen the AI avatars out there. You saw the beginning AI avatar. Remember, it looked like this.
Greetings, humans. Don't worry. I'm not here to steal your job.
Right? So that was done in HeyGen, Heygen. And all I did was I went to ChatGPT and I said, give me an opening story that positions me as an expert in the field, but doesn't replace me, and use some humor. And I copied the script into HeyGen. I picked the avatar, tried to find someone at a desk in a professional setting. They have many, many different avatars. And then I was able to tweak it. Now, what I was going to do after I did the video, although I ran out of time, was I was going to take that video into some other AI tools that I use. So I use Opus.pro, which allows me to add B-roll and other graphics. I use Taja.ai, which allows me to take content and repurpose it. I use, let's see what else I use. I use 11 Labs. I use a lot. We're going to show you. I have a whole list I'll share with you, everybody. But think about the concept. The outcome here is how can you use it? Where could you create an AI avatar video, maybe in your own voice or in someone else's voice that you could use? So I'll give you an example. Here we go. This one is an avatar. It's 100% AI generated.
Hey, can you tell this is 100% AI? Well, it is. Imagine the possibilities. Now let's try that in Spanish. Oye, ¿puedes decir que esto es 100% IA? Pues lo es. Imagina las posibilidades.
Okay, so that's a really simple thing. You've probably seen that if you've been on any AI webinar in the last 2 years, you've seen someone, use an avatar, but are you really using it in your business? Now, it's not a replacement for the human experience. I want to remind you that when everybody goes high tech, you want to stay high touch. So regardless of what your business is or what your role is, AI is not a replacement for everything. In fact, it can ruin the damage. It can do more damage and brand damage. So be strategic and test. Start small and get complicated later. So maintain the human touch. I always have to do this. I saw it in the survey. People were like, well, what about the cautions? Well, let's just get them out of the way for the recording. Treat AI as an expert, but monitor it like an intern. You heard that in the opening video. It can give you biased responses. Now, I never used to use Gemini because it was just terrible. The responses were just not even close. But now, Gemini, which is Google's AI, has gotten pretty fast. And I think it's giving a run for the money for ChatGPT. Now, if you're new, pick one, use one. As you start to get more familiar with the methodologies, then you can use the same strategies on Claude, on Copilot, on Gemini, and Grok, and everything else. I'm not using DeepSeek anymore. Nothing political here. I'm just staying away from that just for now. But human oversight. Number 2, biased responses. We talked a little bit about that it'll make things up and it'll give you biased responses. So ask it and make sure you check your sources. There's a lot of privacy and security concerns for the people in the surveys. And what I would tell everybody, and I have a little place coming up in the presentation, set your defaults. So those of you that think you're an expert, I've had people, I have high-end consulting clients, and I'll share the screen. I'll create AI agents for them, and I'll ask them, on a scale of 1 to 10, what are you? Well, I'm about an 8 or a 9. And then I go, well, let's share the screen. And we go into Zoom, and I share the screen. They don't have their defaults set. They don't have custom instructions set. They haven't set any AI agents up. Their prompts are very basic. And so, again, they're rating themselves on a scale of 1 to 10, but they don't really know what a 10 looks like, right? And so today, I'm hoping to help expand your viewpoint of what these tools can do so you can better implement them throughout your organization. So the action step is go to your privacy settings, go to your security settings on every tool. It doesn't matter which tool you are, go to your account and just read the screen. Click through all the different options on the screen and go, oh, keep my data private. Oh, don't share my information. Oh, use a temporary chat. ChatGPT now, in the upper right-hand corner, for those of you following along at home that have ChatGPT open, if you're logged into your account, go in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see they now have a button called temporary, because they know that people want to use these tools and not necessarily keep the history of the chats. Now, in full disclosure, for this recording, or for broadcast, this is for educational and informational purposes only. I'm not giving you legal advice, so you're on your own due diligence there. Which brings me to legal liabilities, right? If you're a global company, and I've got global brands on this presentation today, you need to make sure that if you're using AI tools in other countries, that you follow the compliance and the rules there. And then there's a lot of risk. There's risk in using these tools where people in your organization are just copy pasting and they're not really paying attention, or they're using AI incorrectly. So it is the wild, wild west right now, but we're going to help make some sense of this. So the 3 buckets of focus to use AI is obviously operations, which covers accounting and finance and leadership and your culture, team building, management, communication, change. That's operations, right? Then you've got marketing and sales. Well, marketing's job is to create opportunities. Sales jobs are to build a relationship. So if you have a CRM system, AI is great for the copywriting, for the workflows, for the narratives. helping you analyze and find opportunities. I've got yoga studios that have tools that go out and search the prospect. It's a little creepy online, but they can go to social media, find the profile of the person, and then craft messages based on their personality. And that's what you're going to see going forward. These tools are getting so smart. And there's tools right now that we have on ProfitRichResults.com, which is my business site, which is listed here on the screen, and then PrimeConcepts.com, which is my digital marketing agency. And there are tools now where if you come and visit the website, it pops up and it shows, I'm just full disclosure, it shows me your IP address, it shows me where you're from, it recognizes you if it can find you online, and it follows you throughout the thing. Now, I don't use that information because it's a little bit creepy. I don't want to send an email to Bob Phibbs and say, hey, Bob, I noticed you were checking out my consulting page. Would you like to, re-engage for consulting? But the tools are there. So just know they're there. And then, of course, the customer experience. So one of your roles is to map out your customer experience from a suspect to an advocate and look for things that are repetitive. And so the cue for you should be anything you do more than once or twice, or if you have people on your team doing it more than once or twice, how could you leverage AI to do it? How could you use it to manipulate the data, to evaluate the data? What I didn't talk about real quickly is that AI is also used. It's also used for everything having to relate with coding, and it can write code, it can debug code. I have a digital agency, and my team uses AI to fix coding problems. They can say, hey, here's the code. Can you go look at what's going on? Now, we are going to go through the 4 levels of AI to get this more advanced, but I wanted to level set right now and make sure everybody's up to the same page. So let's talk about how you integrate it, and then we're going to go into the 4 levels. Quick repeat for some of you that have seen this. I don't want to rush through it because, again, are you really leveraging it? So AI integration starts with literacy and understanding its power, which is why you're all here. The 4 levels, level number 1 are conversational AI. Those are the apps that you're probably familiar with: ChatGPT, Claude, Copilot, Perplexity, Grok, Gemini, and so forth. So let's get into prompting. Let's use this really right away for everybody here. I took a look at who was on the call, and I said, okay, let's come up with some things that I know people are concerned with. So we've got businesses that want to learn how to recruit more effectively. It's always hard to find, attract, and engage top talent. Onboarding and training, internal communications, customer support, how to retain staff, performance review, and workflow automation. So that's as in the operational window. So here are the large language models. I'm going to put them full screen for everybody. So when I talk about large language models, think about these as the brands. So ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Grok, Copilot, Meta, and Gemini. Don't get seduced. Just use the main ones. I recommend for sure ChatGPT and Perplexity for sure. Claude I like because it writes better content. It has a more natural sounding copy. Copilot's already getting built into all the Microsoft products. So a lot of organizations, they're just using Copilot because they've got the acceptable use policy from their company. Gemini is Google's. It's quickly becoming a great resource. I'm starting to try chats. I use prompts in ChatGPT, and then I go to Gemini, and I'm getting some pretty great answers now. So Gemini is, I've said this for over a year. I said, I think that Gemini or Google will eventually outperform ChatGPT. That's just me. There's no scientific data behind that. But I think that it's because it's Google and because they seem to always get it right after time. So let's go through prompting like a pro. I promised you I'd do it. There is a video on this. So we're not going to go through in depth. So I'm going to share you the video real quick. I'll put this on the screen. So on that bonus landing page is a 5-minute video, 4-minute and 30-second video of how to use prompts. But I'm going to put it in here just for those people that are lazy that say, I'm not going to go watch another video. Just give me the content right now. So here it is, everybody. Quick review. If you want better results, you have to have complex conversations. No longer can you have one-way conversations like you would with Google. You need a two-way conversation. It's typical when I'm prompting AI that I open up, first of all, I do a lot of it through voice, where now I can just have a conversation. But if I am prompting it, I might say, I'm looking for a marketing calendar based on this ideal client and this market, and these are the variables. I want you to interview me and ask me questions before you continue. And so thanks, Devin, for putting that in the chat. And so what will happen is the AI will interview me and ask me questions and uncover things that I didn't know. So that's your takeaway. Don't just use the AI to prompt it. Have it interview you and ask you questions. You'd be amazed at how well that actually works. So define the outcome and the task in detail, provide context and dialogue, and then, of course, who are you writing for? Number 4, use examples. All of the AI tools now allow you to upload documents. I already talked about the document. So if like I'm going to use Bob Phibbs. Bob, thanks for the shout out. I'm giving you a lot of shout outs today just because I knew at least you were here when I started. I can't see the whole participants because we got a couple hundred people here. But so Bob writes on retail, right? So he could upload 20 of his articles into Claude and create a custom agent or a space for his writing to get him 70% there. It's not a replacement. He's not going to just take something, copy and paste it. And I don't recommend anybody do that. That's disingenuous and that's out of integrity. But these tools are there. Now, it also begs the question, well, if all these tools can write content, what's that going to do to SEO? Mark my words now, on April 29th, 2025, I think the search engines are going to be completely different in 60 to 90 days. They're already different now. You used to go to the search engines like Google to search for something, and it would give you search results. That was why it was called a search engine. But now all the search engines are slowly training you to get answers. They started with rich snippets where they would collaborate and they would extract different content from sites and give you like a snippet at the top of the page, and it would give you credit. Now it's giving you AI answers, and guess what? It's not giving you credit. So if you rely on SEO to get business, one of your action steps might be to go back and revisit how you're going to get customers in the future when the search engines change. And they are changing. So it's because everybody can write a 900-word blog on leadership. Everybody can write a plan. So content marketing is going to shift, right? You know, there's already lots of YouTube channels and TikTok channels and Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram where the content is faceless. And it's just content with avatars. And people are consuming it that way. So I certainly understand the challenges there. So use examples when you upload. Number 5, what format do you want? Do you want this in a Word document, Excel, PowerPoint? Do you want to use emojis or no emojis? Because obviously AI loves emojis. Do you want tables and so forth? So specify the parameters. And then, of course, like I said, when you start, ask what else you need. Iterate and refine, and take the same prompt and use the prompt in different AI tools. Okay, so if you're new to this, go practice. Go ask for the pros and cons. Go ask for step-by-step instructions on how to do something. I wanted to do some keto diets in my air fryer, and I had the ingredients, and I went to AI and I said, here are all the ingredients. Give me step-by-step instructions on how to make this recipe, and it gave me everything, and I just followed it. So, yeah, is it dumbing down people? Probably, but it certainly made the meal a lot better. All right, so people always ask me, what are the favorite tools you use? I use ChatGPT as my go-to. I use Perplexity for research or current data. Now, ChatGPT also works with some current data now, but Perplexity is way better. And then I use Claude for writing content or for coding. So if I'm trying to program, and there are all kinds of AI tools. Now, keep in mind, we're talking about level 1. Level 1 right now, just to remember when we started, is the conversational AI tools. All right, so this is the training document. I call it training document, but online it's called the AI Ready Blueprint. And this is where you're going to get the data from your business, use the organic document, and then you're going to upload the document into whatever AI tool that you're currently using. If you haven't already, go download ChatGPT on your phone. Just make sure you look for the white logo. What color? The white logo. So make sure you get the white logo. And yes, I'm dinging the buttons. Let's go past this. Now, this is one thing that I think that everybody needs to know how to do If you're in business, you've got to get Google reviews and you've got to respond to Google reviews. So I'm going to encourage you, get and claim your business listings online. Get Google reviews as soon as someone recognizes the happiness moment. They love your service, whatever product or service or business you're in. As soon as someone gives you a positive input, either grab your cell phone and say, hey, can I capture that to share with my team? And then once they give you the video, then you can use that video and say, wow, that was really great. Can I use it on social media? And it's a two-step process. They'll probably say, yeah, you can use it. But if you say, I want to take this video to put all over social media, they're probably going to say, no, thank you. You're not going to do that with my video. So capture videos, but more importantly, get Google reviews. So how do you get Google reviews? You look for the happiness moment. Now, what I'm going to do for everybody is I'm going to give you the prompt that everybody needs. This is where you can take a screen capture if you want, or you will get it in the slides, keep in mind. But this is an example of an effective prompt. So act as my marketing manager and help me respond to Google reviews. So giving it the context. What's the action step? Write a professional and engaging reply to all these reviews, positive or negative. 4, blank business. Craft a response that expresses appreciation for the feedback, addresses compliments and concerns, and reinforces the commitment to exceptional service. And then if the review's negative, acknowledge it, show a willingness to resolve it, and a practical solution if appropriate. Keep the tone friendly and professional, and keep it to around 500 words, and I'll paste them in one at a time. So you can actually go to Google and copy and paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, and get the reviews. Because I've gone to some of your Google business listings, and some of you haven't even responded to Google reviews, which is terrible, because if you want business, certainly you should do that. And second, if you go and you put the same thing for a 5-star review, thank you for your feedback, we'll share it with our team. 1-star review, thank you for the feedback, we'll share it with our team. It's disingenuous and it doesn't show the personal side. So I would highly recommend that you do that. And it looks like Marty put that in there. So, hey, Marty, thank you for doing that. I don't know if you got it from the AI directory or whatever, but thanks for putting that in there. All right. So that's an example of using the chat properly. All right, let's go to here. We already talked about setting your defaults, so I'm going to go past that. Let's get into the steps of how you use it in business, because then I want to get to some of my favorite tools, and I'm watching the clock, but I want to make sure I gave something for everybody. So this is going to get more advanced as we continue. So if you're an organization, I want you to foster a culture of AI literacy. So you're doing that now. Share this video with everybody on your team or everybody you care about. Make the AI tools that you're using accessible to your team. So the ones you shouldn't use, like I probably wouldn't make DeepSeek to your team right now just because of the data privacy concerns, at least as of the recording. So whatever tools you're using, whether they're large language models or not, you should make them accessible. Find champions on your team that are using AI and set up a department across departments. You might have a little committee on your team. So if you solicit your team members and find out who's already using AI, you might find that you've got some great champions that you could be using already. Number 4, incentivize with rewards. Have an AI hackathon. Maybe it's you're going to say Friday afternoon, we're all going to do a lunch and learn, and I want you to bring your biggest challenge, and we're going to use AI live in the conference room or meeting room to help address it. So you might do live hackathons, best practices. It's a great way to get your team to leverage it, because as a business owner, you want your team to be productive. I was thinking about 3 different words at once. Profitable and productive, right? And so this is live, everybody. So I want you to do is set up an incentive or a hackathon where you can actually do that. Devin, remind me not to have too many neurograms before I start a presentation. Here we go. Next, set up communication channels for sharing AI wins and challenges. Most of you are using Teams or Slack or some other tool. Set up a special channel where you can put your wins and your losses. Number 6, create acceptable use policies. Create a policy. Yes, you can use AI to create the policy, but make sure it's within brand standard and compliance. You can run it by your legal department if you need to, but set up policies, because AI is here to stay and you need to have policies to do it. All right.
Sorry to interrupt, but I have a quick reminder from another one of Ford's AI agents. Every time Ford presents, attendees ask about his customized keynotes and AI implementation consulting services, and for good reason. Ford Saeks isn't just teaching theory, He's actively helping organizations unlock the full potential of AI to accelerate growth, streamline operations, and future-proof their business. From associations and franchises to Fortune 500 companies, his strategies deliver measurable results fast. If you're watching this masterclass, chances are you're looking to stay ahead of the curve. Ford helps businesses like yours go beyond the hype and actually implement AI with confidence. Want to explore how Ford can help your organization? Visit profitrichresults.com or give him a ring at the number on the screen. Now back to you, Ford. I won't interrupt again. Unless you go off track on one of your tangents.
So that covers conversational AI. We covered a lot in just 35 minutes. Now we're going to go to level 2, 3, and 4, and then we're going to stick around. If you have questions, let me go to the Q&A. It looks like we've got 4 questions in the Q&A. If you put it in the chat, please go back and put it into the Q&A, and I will look at those in a minute. Not yet, though. All right, here we go. Next. So we're talking about level 2 is specialty apps. Now, there are all kinds of AI directories right now with the top 10, top 100, top 50 tools. There's blog posts on the top 50 tools for every industry: accounting, pet service, home service. Like, there's AI tools targeted because they're developing so quickly, because AI can allow you to create an app and a tool. So in an afternoon, we can all go create our own app now, where you used to have to spend $50,000 to $100,000. You can do it for $39. So there's no shortage of resources. So again, start simple, get complicated later. I'm going to share a few of my specialty apps. By no means is this an all-inclusive list, but based on the attendees that are here and the people that have subscribed, this is where I think would be the most helpful for those of you here. So here they are. I'm gonna go through each one of them in a quick little example. So Canva, HeyGen, 11 Labs, Notebook LM, Replay, Claude, and Seamless. Now there's many others, like I said, but let's continue. So first, it's Canva. For those of you that are using Canva, which is a lot of you, I'm a digital marketing agency. I have all the Adobe suites. I have all the software, and my team will tell you if it's a shiny object in an app, I probably have purchased it, which is not a takeaway. Do not write that down. Do not do that. Do not buy things you're not using. Okay, got to make sure I put that disclaimer in there. But Canva is one that I think could really help you. But more importantly, with Canva, I want you to know about this Canvas AI. So open up Canva if you're a Canva user and practice playing with this Canva AI. It used to be called Dreamlab. They changed the name, but you can go to Canva AI. It's part of your Canva account. You can describe what you're looking for, and you can even add supporting images. Now, I'm getting mixed results with this. When it first came out, I was getting some pretty cool results for making mock-ups and special reports and event covers and YouTube thumbnails and social media posts. But it's still quirky. Sometimes it gives me great results and sometimes it doesn't, but it's definitely worth a mention. So use Canva and the Canvas AI. Next is HeyGen, right? That was that video like this.
Greetings, humans. Don't worry. I'm not here to steal your job.
Right? So that was all created with HeyGen. HeyGen has lots of different avatars that you can use. So you can create your own avatar where you record yourself and you put yourself online. And I know there's Scott McKain, if you've ever seen his Motivational Mondays or his Mythbuster. I think Scott McKain does Mythbuster Mondays on TikTok. And those are all AI generated. He has an avatar. He writes it. He puts it into HeyGen. He uses 11 Labs to get his voice. And you can't tell it's not Scott McKain. So if you haven't checked him out, he doesn't know I'm giving him a shout out. He's a fellow Speakers Roundtable member and great colleague. I've known him for 30 years. And, he creates a lot of content. Now, you don't have to be a speaker and trainer to use this. It doesn't matter what, maybe you're a franchisee, franchisor. You can use avatars or create avatars for your team. Now, one of the things I do disclose it. Like, for example, I got hired to present in Montreal. They wanted the presentation in French. I used HeyGen to convert my whole presentation from English to French. But in the beginning, I said, please note that I don't speak French and that this is AI generated. So please forgive any errors. I was recently doing a keynote. I was in front of like 1,000 people, and I had someone come up on stage to do a translator example, like speak in Spanish and we'll translate it. And I said, what language do you speak? And they said, Georgian. So I said, okay, you're going to act as someone who speaks in Georgian. And so we did the dialogue, and the person said, that wasn't Georgian. Of course, the whole audience cracked up laughing. I didn't know it wasn't Georgian. So again, if you flying blind, you sometimes crash. But I would tell you that AI can translate pretty effectively in most languages. It just had trouble with that one. So HeyGen is the tool for video content, whether it's you or an avatar. And there's other tools too. This is just the one that I have found that works really well. Text to speech, 11 Labs. If you have a podcast, or if you're trying to create audio training, or maybe you're doing faceless videos, 11 Labs, you've definitely heard the voices from 11 Labs. That's one that you should go check out. I don't think I have a video for that. It says number 16, but I don't think I do. Let me see if this is it. Yeah, it is. See if there's any sound.
Love all, trust a few, do wrong to...
Life without love is...
The thing always happens that you really...
As we are liberated from our own...
Just trust yourself. Government of the...
A single rose can be my garden.
Imagine it's a typical Monday morning. You're rushing to get ready for work, coffee in hand, and your phone buzzes with...
So you can see it's text to speech. So text to speech as opposed to HeyGen, which is text to video. All right, moving along. Notebook LM. If you haven't used this, it's really kind of creepy. I mean, let me open up my full camera view here. So I've got this book, AI Mindshift. The other one's Superpower, and then I've got Accelerate for franchisees, right? And so I went ahead and I uploaded the manuscript into Notebook LM, and it created a whole podcast about my book with them interrupting each other. Their voices are so natural. You cannot tell it's not real. It is. And if that's what you can do right now for $20, imagine what you can do, what they're doing in the government. I'm not going to go there on a tangent, but I'm just telling you, the biggest fear, I think, like I said in the beginning of this, you're not going to know what's real and what's not in the future. So you're going to have to be trained to, I think not just trained, I think what's going to do is it's going to make any in-person communication you have even more valuable. I done a lot of keynote speaking in home services where they do home care, and they're saying, hey, at least AI isn't going to replace home care, at least yet with robots, right? But what it does is that personal touch. So for all of you watching this, I'm not an advocate to say replace everything with AI. It's going to make those personal meetings, conversations, AI event, Zoom events where you know that it's a real person talking to a real person, it's going to make those even more valuable. So while everybody goes high tech, make sure you stay high touch. So check out Notebook LM. It's great for learning content. If you're trying to learn a lot of content, it especially the younger generation, I'm talking under 40, likes to learn through podcasts. So it can create podcast style summaries for you. You basically can upload documents, you can upload links, and you can paste text in. So Notebook LM, worth an honorable mention to go check it out. Next is Replay. So I do a lot of sales training presentations. They hire me to come in for business growth or superstar sales. And what they want is to train their new hires or their team to increase the average transaction, create better relationships, reduce attrition in sales. And so one of the things that I've done for years is role play, right? One of the best training things you can do is role play. Well, now AI has role play. Now, this is a company, full disclosure, I am a very teeny tiny stake in this company, minuscule. If it goes public, I'll get $15. But what I would tell you is from a tool standpoint, it's amazing. So what they've done, and you could do this with ChatGPT. I could open up ChatGPT right now and I could say, I sell home services. I want you to act as a home services prospect and help me improve my prospecting skills. And you could have a conversation right now, all of you, with your phone using AI. But what Replay does much more effectively is they allow you to create scenarios, custom scenarios that if you have salespeople on your team, it can bring you up to speed. So I've done a lot of work in fitness. So like Anytime Fitness is a client, Orange Theory is a client. And so we created a role play for them because one of the biggest challenges in gym memberships and things like that or people want to cancel sometimes. And so teaching their management and the staff how to actually have those conversations that help reduce the attrition is really effective. So I'll just play this short little one. This is for insurance because I did a presentation for insurance sales. So this is me making fun of insurance. Here we go. Let me go here and click the button. So how are you doing today? How can I help you?
Honestly, I'm a bit stressed about all the expenses that come with getting married, and health insurance is one of them. We don't want to overspend, but we also don't want to be stuck without coverage, you know?
Well, we carry a whole line of different insurances from business to home to health. Tell me more about your needs.
We're really just looking for some basic health insurance, nothing too fancy. We're both pretty healthy, but we want to make sure we're covered in case something happens. And we're on a budget, so we need something affordable.
Well, I want to sell you the most expensive reoccurring insurance I can possibly offer you.
No way. That's exactly what I'm trying to avoid, breaking the bank. I need something that's going to fit our budget, not drain it. Can you offer me something more affordable?
Well, I do have options. Are you available next Tuesday where we can have a meeting?
Next Tuesday's kind of tough. I've got a lot going on. Can't we just discuss the options over the phone or something?
So obviously I didn't pass selling the most expensive, but it gives me coaching. So it tells me, where did I go wrong? What could I have done better? I built rapport, oh boy. And then it gives me a review. So again, whether you use replay.sale, which is the tool I recommend, if you want to go practice this yourself just to get an idea, it's free. You just fill out the form and get right into it. Now, using the service isn't free, but using the demo obviously is. And so there's 2 demos right now. Even if you don't sell gym memberships, you can practice as if you were, and that kind of gives you an idea. And then, of course, insurance. But replay.sale, when you work with them, they create the custom scenarios for you. So they onboard you, they go through a discovery call, and then they set up the custom role play for your team that is appropriate. Let's go past that. All right, so this is another tool. So I use Claude. I use a Claude device, and I'm actually going to, instead of the screen, I'm just going to show it to you. So it's this little device right here. It sticks on the back of my phone. There's 2 switches. If I go up to where it's red, you can see now it's red. And I have my name on the back. It doesn't come with your name, okay? But this is a little device. It's a recorder. And then when I'm in a meeting, I can turn it on, and it gives me an AI summary of the entire meeting. They now came out with a new... So that's Claude. You can go check it out online. It's an AI device, but it saves me a lot of time. And now they have the pin, which can go on your shirt, under your shirt, and I actually have it where it's on a little wristband. So I can just wear the little wristband, and if I'm having a meeting with somebody, I'm going to say, "Hey, do you mind if I record it?" And instead of using my phone, I just click the little button, and it records the conversation. And when I'm done, it gives me an AI summary, it gives me a mind map, it gives me a transcript, and it saves the audio. So yes, you might say, well, why wouldn't you use ChatGPT? I'm not going to open up ChatGPT in a business meeting or in a conference hall and record. Which brings me to the next key point, intellectual property and people recording. I would recommend that you all realize that probably everything you're doing is being recorded 24/7. So you should always conduct yourself, and certainly I need to conduct myself better to know that you can always be recorded. My team reminds me when we're in elevators and stuff to always remember that you're always going to be recorded. So whether you like it or not, our devices are listening to us. Our phones are listening to us. If I talk about going to the Bahamas, guess what all of your devices are going to do now? Hey, Alexa, give me plane trip tickets to the Bahamas. I just bought tickets now. Okay, here we go. You get the point. Moving on. Seamless AI is my secret weapon when it comes to sales. So this is an AI tool I've been using way before ChatGPT. It's one of the best tools for if you're in sales or you're prospecting, check out Seamless. Again, I'm not giving you affiliate links here. I'm just giving you the straight link. But what Seamless does is if I just look at somebody on the call, like, okay, Albert Chang, Stage Time members here on the call. Hey, Albert, I just looked at you're in the A's, so you popped up. Well, I can go to Seamless, put his name in, and it'll research the internet. It researches a lot of different AI tools and databases and comes back with a profile of who Albert is. And it gives me cell phones and addresses. Now, yeah, it's creepy, but the information is out there, and Seamless is a great tool if you're in sales to help you do this. So they have multiple features. You can upload data. If you have a customer list, you can upload it and it can enrich the data. They've got all kinds of workflows and things that you can use for it, but check out Seamless. All right, AI agents. Let's go to AI agents. This is for those of you that feel like I'm already got all this forward. You spent 50 minutes. Well, here's where you probably haven't done. Have you set up custom AI agents? So ChatGPT has something called GPTs. It's different than projects. Projects just let you sort different threads. Agents do one specific task. So when you're in AI, it keeps a thread of your conversation. Agents are trained to do one particular thing. So AI agents, Perplexity has what's called spaces, and Claude has what's called projects. But what you do with an agent is you upload multiple files and you train it. Now, here's how I create an agent. For those of you that are new, go to Perplexity and say, my name is Amanda Johnson, and I want you to go research my company, my brand, and I want you to create custom instructions for an AI agent to do this. Here's your tip. Use AI to solve AI problems. So when I don't know how to do anything or certain things, I'm going to go to AI and I'm going to ask it, here's who I am, here's what I'm trying to do, give me step-by-step instructions or go do it for me. And then I'm going to take the instructions from that AI tool, go back into ChatGPT and go to Explore GPTs, and I'm actually going to create it. So you're going to create your training document, and then you're going to go into ChatGPT and you're going to go to Explore GPTs. And then in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see Create. And if you can fog a mirror, yep, I said it. If you can fog a mirror, you can do this. If you have a pulse. So practice creating AI agents. Go and use Perplexity to do the research on your company. Who's my ideal client? Who's my brand? Maybe it's for marketing, or maybe it's for intellectual property, or maybe it's for HR, or whatever your role in your business is, and then train it with your internal documents. And yes, you can keep your privacy settings so it doesn't use the data to train the large language model. Keep in mind, AI is not Google. It's not going to, if I upload my AI book, it's not going to allow people just to plagiarize all my content. It's training on the content. So it is different. But AI agents are really powerful. And again, I don't want to gloss over that. So again, if you have questions about any of this, we've got another 8 minutes, and then I'm going to officially do the ending, but I'm going to keep going and answer some questions. I'm going to stick around. For those of you, I promised you an hour. So let's recap before we go into level 4, which is workflows. We started with the basics, acceptable use policies, the do's and don'ts, and some cool tools. Then we went through conversational AI. We talked about ChatGPT and the taking the same prompt, because all of them work the same. If you know how to use ChatGPT, guess what? Perplexity, Copilot, Gemini, and Claude all work almost the exact same way. They lay out the same way on the page. The prompts are almost the same. So they're very intuitive, so you can do this. Then we went to level 2, which was all these specialty apps. And regardless what app, we talked about setting your defaults so that people don't take your data. And level 2 is there are specialty apps on everything you can possibly think. Just Google or go to Perplexity and search for what AI tools are made for home services, and you're going to get tons and tons and tons and thousands of tools. But do your due diligence, because you can get subscribed to death, and don't just buy stuff without really vetting it, because some of them won't be around in 6 to 8 months, right? And then level 3, we talked about custom agents. Custom agents I have for writing, intellectual property, prospecting. I'm a Hall of Fame keynote speaker, so I have an AI agent. So if I'm going to have a pre-event call with a client, for example, Game Day Men's Health, I'm actually leaving Friday to go to Cancun to speak at the franchisees, and some of them may be on this call, to Game Day Men's Health on business growth. Well, before I have the prospect call with Game Day Men's Health, I'll go copy their link into Perplexity, into my agent, because I have an agent in Perplexity, and I'll say, do the research. And so it'll go there, it'll research, and it researches what are the top challenges in the industry, how many units do they have, what growth pains have they gone through, who are their key leaderships, are there any significant changes in their business model? And that way, when I get on the call with the prospect and they say, hey, Ford, do you know anything about us? I'm prepared to have that conversation. So AI is designed to help you save time, make better decisions, and leverage your team. And you can never know it all. So those of you who think you know everything, you don't know what you don't know. And that's the dangerous. Those are the people that are scary. So make sure you're constantly growing and learning. All right, let's go to robotic process automation. Make.com and Zapier.com are the two. There's about 6 others too, by the way. But these are, for most of you here, this is where I would start, is Make.com and Zapier. What these tools do is they allow you to integrate different things in your workflow. So for example, let's not go there. Let's go back. Okay. So what you can do is you can go to, for example, Make.com, and you can say, here's a list of all my technology. ActiveCampaign, Constant Contact, WordPress, Gravity Forms, QuickBooks, Maz 90, Mind Body Health, whatever your technology is, Microsoft, you can Slack, you can put in all your technology, and then you can say, I run a business. This is my technology stack. What workflows could you create for me? So the concept, see, I'm teaching you how to fish. I'm not giving you the fish. I'm teaching. I know I've never read the Bible, so forgive me if I'm quoting this wrong, everybody. Devin's going to give me crap later for this. But what I would say is, I want to teach you how to solve this problem. So even though we've got 5 minutes left, that's all it's going to take. Because what I want you to do is I want you to go to Perplexity and say, keep in mind, I said Make.com. I'm jumping backwards. Go to Perplexity and say, I want to create workflows in Make.com. Here's a list of all my technology, or here's where I have all my data and I'd like to make this more effective. And Perplexity will help you solve the problem. Make.com will help you solve the problem. Zapier, which has been around forever, connects with even more tools, but the interface is a little bit clunky. So some people say, well, why don't you just use Zapier? Well, you can do the same things in Zapier that you can do in Make.com, but the interface, I believe, in Make.com is better. Make.com connects to about 2,000 places. Don't quote me on that, but pretty close. And then Zapier is over 4,000. So, they've obviously had more history and more time to create the interface. But even if it doesn't work with that tool, those tools all have generic API integrators that, I'm using that term wrong, but can go in and get your data from one tool to another tool. So even if it isn't one of the approved tools, if your tool allows access through a webhook, it can get your data. So I'll give you an example of a practical use of how you would do this. You registered for this webinar, right? You went to profitrichresults.com/AI-now, or you saw the email series that we sent out and you registered. You registered on WordPress. It went through Gravity Forms. It took you on Gravity Forms. It went to Zoom. It registered you on Zoom. It added you to the autoresponders in Zoho. So it has the Zoho campaign, which is my CRM system. It's dripping all the emails on you. Hey, make sure you show up, blah, blah, blah. Share this with your friends. And then it took your survey data and it put it into Airtable. And then after Airtable, after we got all the survey results, we push a button and it gives me the summary of how many people registered, on what score were you on a scale of 1 to 10? What are the key things that you want to learn? So it was all automated. So as we're 2 minutes away from wrapping up, what you want to think about is what are the different things that you could do to automate what you're doing, okay? And that's really, really important. So AI workflows. And again, I'm thinking, Devin, the next one we should do would be an advanced one where we just spend 60 minutes on AI workflows. I have AI workflows that took my AI Mindshift book, which is right here, uploaded the book. It automatically goes by chapter, creates 10 short form videos and long form videos from each chapter using my content. goes to 11 labs using my voice, creates audio of the voice, puts it back into Airtable for me to approve. Once I've approved it, then it goes to HeyGen, and it takes my voice from 11 labs and goes into HeyGen and creates the video, and then creates the video landing page. Now, some of you right now are in a coma like, what the hell is he talking about? If you think it can do it. And that's the real takeaway, is if you think it can do it. So to unlock AI's potential, you need to shift your mindset from fear of automation to fear of excitement about acceleration. So remember, you're going to get the video masterclass and the bonus handout. I gave you the link earlier. Devin can put it back in. We are going to continue. I'm going to stay here and answer questions, but I promised everybody a clean break at the 1 hour mark. And I like to start on time and end on time. Don't go, let's see, I guess, actually, you can go to that QR code. That's the wrong company. Do not go to that. You can go to it, but it's going to be for LHD Benefit Advisor, so it's not going to be the right slides, everybody. So I guess I should have changed that. But let's take a look as we wrap up here, that the human advantage in the AI world. While we just spent 60 minutes exploring how to use AI effectively, and we looked at the 4 levels. Level 1 is ChatGPT and AI, specialty programs, AI agents, and then we have AI workflows. Each one of those could be a 2-week masterclass. But regardless of what level you came into today, appreciate you sticking around with me, and we're going to go to Q&A in just a second. But I do want to tell everybody thank you for being here today. I'm going to play the outro music, and hope you like and subscribe and share it and leave comments. You can go leave me a Google review and so forth. And with that, we're going to say congratulations, and let's clap. We're here. We're live. This is part 2. I'm going to continue. I'm going to stay here and answer questions for people. I have the participants. You can raise your hand. I can go ahead and elevate anybody to a panelist, and we can use live Q&A. But first, I've got 17 different questions in the Q&A. So I'm just going to go right down through the questions and answer that. So I'm just going to go in the order that I see, and we'll see what we get. So how do you provide info to train the AI and provides lots of your own proprietary content without using it for others? Okay, so Daniel, what you do is, and I'm going to go to ChatGPT Live, everybody. So let me go open this up and just get my browser open so it doesn't go to the wrong screen. All right, here we go. So this is live, everybody, so just keep that in mind. Let's go here, share screen. Yeah, like nobody talks to your computer but me. Okay, let's move that out of the way. All right, so in ChatGPT, if you want to create an agent, so let's just go to Explore GPTs, and I'll just go to my AI Mindshift one. So in here, we're going to click Edit GPT. Under Configure, you'll see I've given it instructions, and I've uploaded all these documents. So I've uploaded my marketing, the information for Amazon, my masterclass training, my slides. I've given it all this information. So now it knows everything about my AI agent, right? As far as keeping things secure, what you do is you go over here to settings, and then you go to personalization. And one of the things you should look at here is custom instructions, and then obviously your memory, but data controls right here. So in here, improve the model for everyone. If you want to turn this off, so let me slow down for a second since I did that so quickly. Go to settings, data. Improve the model means it's going to use your data for training. Allow your content to be used to train our models. You can turn that off. You can also decide on certain tracks to turn that on and off. But this is what I was saying about your defaults, to turn that on and off. Okay, so that's that question. Let me go to the next question. Devin, you can clean that question out if you want. Next, Katie says, I was trying to make a pricing lookup from my team to use, but wasn't able to get AI to work for it. It wasn't reading the spreadsheets I used to look up and read the tables correctly. Additionally, it kept making up information, was telling me it was out there. Yeah, so So, Katie, I don't know which tool you're using or when you used it, but there are times, like even Devin, when she uploaded the Excel spreadsheet from Airtable to Excel, sometimes it'll hallucinate. But the AI tools, depending on which model you're using, when you go into ChatGPT and you go to the top, there's a pull down, and try the different pull downs, you're going to get better results. The other thing, like I said, you can use different LLMs. If you try in ChatGPT, go to Claude or Perplexity or Gemini or Copilot and try the same thing. You'll find that it will work. Am I using the paid version of all these? Yes. I use the paid version for two reasons. One, I'm training on the topic, so obviously it makes sense that I do it. Two, the reason you get the paid version is you get longer prompts, faster access, and I think a lot better results. And so, yes, there is money, there is an investment, but for $20 on most of them, obviously there's different pricing, depends on which version and whether you have the team version or the enterprise version. But if you're using it, then pay for it. If not, don't pay for it. What version of Claude within Perplexity? My lowest account is $20. So Andy, thanks for being here. It's just $20. Greetings from Hamburg. So my question is regarding AI boundaries and the law. I know some jobs, such as lawyers, are not allowed to use AI for some stuff. Not all of us work in legal. So my question is, how can we check where the AI restrictions are for our jobs so we don't get fined? Back to what I told you before as far as the challenges with AI. And I had this up on the screen. Look, I got news for you. Attorneys are using it, whether they're supposed to or not. This is for informational purposes only, but I know they're using it. People are going to use these tools, and people are going to try to put restrictions on it. Your company's going to try to put restrictions. If you're the company, you're going to put restrictions on it. But your team is still going to use the tools. So education is the key, making sure that they understand how to use these tools effectively. Now, you might say, well, there are all these tools out there that, whoops, wrong button, everybody. There are tools that say, which AI tool is the best tool? And, I get better results with this one. It changes weekly. Gemini didn't used to get good results. In the last 2 weeks, it's doing great. Images in ChatGPT used to be terrible. They'd come up with 6 fingers and really weird faces. And now they're lifelike. So, they're constantly evolving. The tools for AI generated video are amazing. Movies are going to be made with AI. I mean, the videos are so good you can't even tell. I don't even understand the world we're living in because it's going to be amazing. So I don't have a tool where I could say, okay, I know what I was going to tell you. There are AI checking tools that you can put content in to see if it's written by AI. But as soon as they come up with a tool, AI improves it. And so I would not put too much weight into some of those AI checking tools. And I know this happens for teachers. I've got universities that are clients of mine, and the professors are using it to grade the papers. The students are using it to write the papers. And unless you're physically in the room doing an oral presentation, it's going to be pretty hard to know whether or not they're using AI. It's the world we live in right now. So I would caution you to be black and white that, oh, this was AI, this wasn't. Because I've written things strictly out of my mouth, and AI says 80% generated with AI. No. And then I've done things that AI wrote it, and it says 10% AI. And I'm like, okay, so they're trying to make money on the tools, but the tools, even though they're trying to figure out the cadence and the narratives and look for signs, and that's why they're making AI stutter and backskip, just like I did a minute ago. Do I humanize? If so, opinionize. Yeah, opinion. Yeah, Dawn, of course. I want to humanize everything I'm doing. I want it to be as real as possible, just like what we're talking about here. This is live, a broadcast. What are your top activities needed by speakers to build their business? For speakers who have dabbled with AI, yet do not know where to start, using Perplexity and chat. So Marty, what I would say is if you're trying to speak on AI, pick a lane that you're already in. So maybe it's customer experience or whatever, and then use AI for that. I would stay away from trying to be just the AI expert. I know a lot of people are doing it right now, but I just think it's short-lived. I wouldn't hitch my wagon to that horse. I would leverage it in everything in your business, but I wouldn't just say, oh, that's what I want to do. Next, do you see AI replacing some entry-level training? And of course, AI is going to replace a lot of entry-level training because you can create AI narratives that are better in every language, that are consistent and on brand. So anything repetitive, it's definitely going to work. Does Claude record the conversation if it's attached to? Yes, Barry. If you have the Claude device, put your phone, and you're not using earbuds, you're talking on the phone because it picks up the vibration through the iPhone. You have to click the switch up to where it's red, and that's for the phone. So when it's on the back of your phone, like this, then it will actually record it. But if I'm wearing earbuds, it's not going to work. I hate the word gonna. I always use gonna, and then all my captions use gonna. Going to English for it. Okay. Is it safe to run your intellectual property through an AI tool? Albert, look, set your privacy settings, but AI's got your tools anyway. And my guess, again, set your privacy settings. When in doubt, if you're really scared, don't do it. But AI already has all of your content anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Am I going to Influence? Yep, I'll be at Influence. I'll be at the $1 Million Speakers Group, and I'm also doing an AI presentation with a cigar peg before Influence. For those of you, Influence is the National Speakers Association event coming up in June or July. What custom GPTs have I created? I've created GPTs for writing, for content, for sales, for marketing, for my books, for relationship coach, for cooking, for keto, for weight loss, semaglutide. I've used AI agents for anything you can think of. How concerned should I be about the security of data I uploaded to ChatGPT? Again, the anonymous user, I would say go set your security settings. There are enterprise versions that allow AI tools, and AI is going to be in everything right now. I want to be clear. It's not just a web browser or an app. It's going to be in your phones. It's going to be in your cars. It's going to be in your buildings. It's going to be in refrigerators. AI is getting built into everything. It's multimodal. Okay, you mentioned Zapier and make.com, so that anonymous user. So it's, yeah, and the other person says, what are my thoughts are N8N. N8N is another workflow tool. I haven't played with it, but I've heard some of my colleagues that really love it. It's just another tool because AI agents are the future, right? People know you want agents. Well, then they go, okay, I figured out agents. Now I want workflows. That's why I gave you the 4 levels. If you're already at level 4, check out N8N. Go Google it, N8N. Workflows, and look at their website, but practice, use the tools, and do your own due diligence. Next, can you use AI when dealing with a closed system that does not have API access? Yes, Daniel. A lot of the AI tools now have modules that allow you to download and use AI natively. And like Copilot, one of the things that they're bragging about is that, hey, you can use Copilot on your machine. But Copilot now and ChatGPT even can monitor your desktop and watch everything you're doing and keep history of everything you're doing. So you could say, well, I was on a Zoom call with Devin last week and we were talking about promoting the International Franchise Association conference. Can you look up the document? And AI can know where to find it. So I'm just telling you, if you think it, you can do it. And it's got way more advanced than you probably realize. Can you restate the order to get my book through 10 short videos? So Amanda Johnson, what I would do is I would go to Google. This is advanced. The question is, how can I repurpose content from a book or intellectual property to make short form videos? Where I learned this was from Stephen P. I don't remember his last name, but if you Google No Code Architects, he is a class on school. I paid $1,000 for it. It was amazing, but that's where I learned how to do this. So I'm going to give him full credit. I don't have the link where I can do it, but if you Google No Code Architects, that's his company. And he has a master class on with a Facebook group and a bunch of training. It's some of the best training I've seen on workflows. And that's where I learned how to repurpose the content. So that's that part. Are Gems and Gemini an agent like ChatGPT? Yes. Charmaine, oh, good that you're here. So thank you for being here. Gemini is creating the same thing, just like ChatGPT. has agents, has GPTs, Perplexity has spaces, and Claude has projects, and Gemini probably has gems too. How do you bet ChatGPT? How do you get to talk back to you? So Cheryl, when you're on your phone, so I'm going to open this up, and let's see if I can do this. Look, we still got a lot of people here. That's pretty good, Devin. Let me see if I can open up ChatGPT and make it show up on my screen here. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's not showing up. I can't get the video to load off my little device. Okay, well, I'll just show you on the screen. We'll just do it different. We'll do it old school. Okay. Whoa, crap. Technical term. Okay, here we go. So I want you to look at the screen. You see that little, it's on this side. Let me change the screen. See that little speaker button right there? That's the button that you click on to talk. Not the microphone button, but the speaker. So if I say, click on it. Hey, I just wrapped up. I'm doing Q&A. Will you tell everybody thank you so much for being here and that we're going to continue the Q&A? Today would be good. Okay. If you don't have good Wi-Fi, that can happen. Yeah, see, it says connection, tap to retry. We'll try one more time. Hey, are you there?
Hey, I'm here. What's up?
So would you tell people how easy it is to use the voice prompt in ChatGPT?
Absolutely. Using the voice prompt in ChatGPT is super straightforward. You just tap the headphone icon to start a voice conversation, and then you can speak naturally like you're chatting with a friend. The app handles the transcription and responses seamlessly, so you can focus on the conversation without typing. It's a great way to get quick, hands-free interactions and makes the whole experience more engaging and efficient.
Okay, thank you.
You got it. Let me know if there's anything else you need.
Now, what's cool about this is it gives you all the text. So if you're trying to have a conversation, you can actually just use it. And so even though it's talking to you verbally, it has all the text. Okay, let's see. We got a few more questions here. 5 more. Okay. Do I have any thoughts on projects and using the file upload with project-specific instructions, or are you exclusively using custom GPTs? No, I'm using Claude. So I write for the American Gem Society. They may be on this call. It's okay. They know I write on AI for them. I write an article, and I've uploaded 25 of my previous articles. So now if I'm going to write an article, let's say on Valentine's Day and customer experience, I can say, write an article on how independent jewelry stores can use AI as it relates to Valentine's Day to drive more business. But it uses my tone, my style, my stories. So because I've uploaded all of my content, my intellectual property around this topic, it writes an article that frankly, I look at it and it's about 80% there, 90% there. I always review it. I always change it and tweak it and make it my own, and personalize and take out some of the nuances. But it gets pretty close. Do you recommend spending money for content auditing? Or is that a waste of money since AI is changing the game rapidly? Tracy, hey, thanks, Tracy. And I had a call with Misty this morning. So Tracy, thanks for that referral. And Misty was on the call this morning. But yeah, I wouldn't just use AI for content editing right now. I go to Upwork. When I want a human being to do something, I still rely on humans. AI is not going to replace everything. But what you can do is once the humans have gone through it, then I'll upload the document and I'll say, act as a proofreader using the Chicago style guide and my humanized way of writing and tell me any red flags. And then it'll go through and it'll find things, because sometimes I use the wrong word and I use the wrong analogy. And so it'll say, hey, that's not what that meant. Like I said, Netflix and chill in a presentation. And I'm like, I thought that just meant go binge watch Netflix, but evidently everybody, it means something else. For those of you that stuck around, do not put that in the chat. Let's move on. Can you base your ChatGPT off another GPT? No, I can't. Thank you for the faces there. I can't create a GPT on another GPT, and you can't interact them, but you can take the instructions from one and using it. This one says, when I ask ChatGPT to complete a repetitive task using a long spreadsheet, it will not complete the task. It'll stop processing after I complete a small subset. Yeah, that's true. And I think what happened is when ChatGPT first came out, I was able, and Perplexity too, I was able to go and say, I'm a Hall of Fame keynote speaker. I want you to research associations that have at least 500 members that spend money on keynote presentations that have hired these speakers. And I put a bunch of names in for the speakers that I compete with. And it came and gave me a huge list. But then it realized that everybody was throttling it. So now they throttle the answers back. Just like if you're a business and you say, I'm in insurance sales, and I want you to find businesses in my local community within 5 miles that have at least 20 employees that I can go solicit. It'll help, but it's quirky. They purposely have throttles to prevent the misuse, and some of those things, even though it can do it, it won't. Janice, what I did she says, how did I use GPT for semaglutide? I wanted to know the pros and cons and the risks. I had a couple of my team members doing it. I used to be an Olympic training athlete. I was 168 pounds. And I started a business and multiple businesses and went up to 270, and now I'm down to 250. I need to get under 200 pounds. Airplane seats aren't getting any skinnier. So I've decided I'm on it. Now, we're not going to talk about the pros and cons and do you like it, but I used ChatGPT and AI to help do that. And I know there's medical people on the call right now that are like, yeah, they hate it when I got doctors as clients and nurses and clinics as clients. They hate it when people come in and that have self-diagnosed themselves using AI. But I got news for you. You know, people are going to use these tools, whether it's right or wrong, that's still to be debated. Is it safe to grab a credit card e-statements and move it to Dropbox? Cynthia, it depends on what the answer to credit card information, depending on what state or country you're in, there's something called PCI compliance. So if you're accepting credit cards, there are a lot of laws and regulations to where you can store the data and how you can use the data. So the first acknowledgement would be check your PCI compliant, because you're probably not compliant if you're storing credit cards in any retrieval system that isn't secure or encrypted. That being said, can it do it? Yeah, it can do it. Just know that it might not be the best thing. Hey, Greg, the negotiator's here. I thought this webinar would start at 2 p.m., so I missed the beginning of it. Greg, it's 12 noon Central. So we were 12 to 1 Central, but guess what, Greg? You get the full video replay for those of you being here. So that's good. The replay will be up probably tonight or tomorrow morning for sure. So that's good. The next one, thank you, Devin. Look at her. Let's everybody give a round of applause to Devin. Is my button working? There we go. So she's been a great producer, helping me make sure I was on time. She's calling me, you're starting in 15 minutes. Get logged in. Okay. Your presentations are always awesome. What are you using to switch between your screens and add sounds? Okay, that always comes up. So I use a program. Let me go back here. Whoops. Find my button. There we go. Had to pick the right button. So this hasn't anything to do with AI, but I will tell you, if you go to profitrichresults.com/wow factor, Devin, you can put that in the chat. Profitresults.com. Look at her. She's already done it. She's so smart. I use a PC. I have multiple cameras set up, and I use what's called vMix. And so, for example, I'll just show you this if I can get the cord to work. Sorry about the Blair Witch Project here. So on this monitor, that's where I have the switcher. Then I have all these buttons across the front. So I have all the sound effects. Crickets. And music. And that's where I play all the videos. So I have everything programmed on these buttons. And so that's my live screen. And so everything goes into, whoops, wrong camera. Everything goes into vMix. And then I have these buttons in front of me so I can switch between a camera view, slide view, a border view, and then a picture-in-picture view where I can change the slides and things. So it's just a way to make the presentations more effective because, again, I don't believe there's anything such thing as Zoom fatigue. I think it's boring presentations. people always ask me, how long should it be? It's never too long. It's only too boring. I mean, we've gone almost 90 minutes now. We've kept over 50% of the people here that were only planning for coming for an hour. So I appreciate the people who've stuck around through the Q&A. So far, there's nothing in the Q&A that have come up that I can't use. So as we get ready to wrap this up, I want to encourage you to go use the same prompts in other tools. Go through the video on prompting, if you're not getting the best results, it's your prompt. Remember, ask AI to interview you to ask you clarifying questions before you actually start as we're going through it. But don't get seduced by that. As it relates to AI, if you have any other questions, connect with me on LinkedIn. Is there an AI tool that would take a PLR program for a course or an ebook or video or checklist and create the actual course? Yes. Public label rights, or private label rights, PLR. I would go to ChatGPT and I would type that same question into Perplexity and then say, give me step-by-step instructions to do it. There are AI tools that can do complete PowerPoint decks now. I mean, it's almost crazy because some of the PowerPoint decks I think one of them is called beautiful.ai. I have probably, let's see if I can find it on a different deck. 1 second, and I'll let everybody go. We're going to go like 2 more minutes here. Let me go to some of the old slide decks and see if I can find it. But these are some more of the favorites that I use. So Zapier for AI automations, Claude for large files, HeyGen for AI-powered video, Seamless for sales leads. Descript.com is a great repurposing tool. I don't use GetMuch anymore. I use Opus.pro, but GetMuch was a tool I used for a while. I don't use Murph.ai anymore. I use 11 Labs. So this was a slide that I had back from October. So you can see from October to now it's changed. Opus Pro, I like using it, but now I'm using Taja, TAJA.ai. Synthesia is like PowerPoint with avatar videos. Midjourney for images, but now I'm using Grok and ChatGPT for images. Superhuman AI, I bought a year subscription to help with email and it didn't work. So I'm not telling you to do that anymore. But superhuman.com is a great email newsletter. Repurpose.io for distributing content. And then, of course, Lumen 5 for video, and Be Human. Be Human, I have a lifetime, I need to leverage Be Human. Be Human allows me to do workflow automations where I can actually go into Be Human and it can take form data from my website, go to Be Human, create a custom avatar with a template that puts their name into the video. So what Be Human does, it would say something like, thanks, Ann, thanks, Bradford. And because it's so quick, you can't tell I didn't create the video just for you. So it's a way to do that. So thank you for everybody being here today. That brings us to the end. The workflow or the replay will be up online. This has been Ford Saeks from ProfitRichResults.com. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. And I will be putting up the replay shortly. Tell your friends, watch the replay. Connect with me on LinkedIn if I didn't already say that.